Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
With traffic and weather together every 4 minutes on the fives all morning long, because we want to get you to your destination on time and safely this morning. Obviously, it's the start of the Conclave, and future Pope Jeffy Fatimus Maximus.
Pope in waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Pope in waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I do have my headgear
anticipating.
with me.
You do have the headgear.
I do.
You're not wearing it.
No, I'm waiting for my text from the Vatican.
Okay.
As soon as
look at that. You got it on your phone.
They lose all cell coverage once the voting starts. But
right.
once they make a decision, then I'm going to get
then you're going to get
a message
text
from the Vatican. Saying,
okay.
Hey,
so
come on.
Obviously, you don't have to be present to win.
Correct.
Okay.
Hold on. Are you being
Good.
presumptuous that you already have a name picked out, yet you're not officially the Pope?
Yeah. What's that to you?
I think don't they mostly do that? I think you think about it the whole time you're a cardinal.
Yes.
What would I call myself if I become Pope?
You're not supposed to let that outside voice, though.
No. You don't say it, but you see it behind the scenes. Like in the movie Conclave, how much did we see in that documentary about the machinations behind the scenes? So you're pretty confident? Pretty confident? First vote?
I don't know. This...
Yeah,
I'm a little nervous.
Looking a little iffy.
Yeah, it's looking a little iffy, but it's possible. Hey, it's still possible.
I mean, this is hard to believe, but you may be too conservative for the papacy. You know,
good point.
Yeah. So,
and I'm a citizen of the United States.
That does
That's
make
a
it
big mark against
very
you.
difficult. Yeah. My understanding is there would never be an American Pope.
Are you on the inside of the Sistine
Yes.
Chapel now?
Yeah, they invite me into their secret meetings, and that's what they've said a number of times. At the meetings in the basement. That was after the pancake breakfast we had.
Yeah, the rumor has it. The rumor has
There's a
it
pancake
that
breakfast?
the second in command guy is kind of the front runner. He speaks multiple languages, and then there's a guy from Africa that they love. And there's
I think
there's a guy
conservative is from Africa.
There's a guy from the Philippines that they love. So.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't look good.
So what are your odds?
I mean, I don't necessarily appreciate your tone right now, but
it doesn't look good for Fatimus Maximus.
It does
right
not.
now.
It does.
That's what it all boils down to.
It does. Yeah, the odds are not in my favor.
We're still not going to have a Fatimus Maximus the First, and it's disappointing, to say the least.
Well,
but,
thank you.
I mean, they made everything since your first run where you nearly
I know.
became
and
the Pope.
They just made it more difficult.
It made it much more difficult.
Yeah.
You got to be Catholic. I mean, that's pretty picky.
Always kind of been the case, but I'm a Catholic adjacent.
Right.
That's good enough.
Yeah, somebody you know is Catholic, right?
My both wives.
Oh, okay.
All my in-laws, everyone was Catholic.
Does the
So
non-living
Catholic adjacent.
ex-wife, does she count in
You're
this?
damn right she does. I mean, darn right she does.
Okay, right.
Oh.
Sorry.
Mr. Pope, are you
That
okay?
might be an issue of why I'm not getting voted in, too.
That might be. Yeah, that might be. There might be something to that. Yesterday, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney came to the White House, and it seems like his tone was just a tad different.
All right. Long handshake.
I know.
Yeah.
They all try to do the
They
long
sure do.
handshake with Trump, don't they?
Yep.
All right.
Nobody screamed, "Hey, Mark, why don't you get a real country?" Nobody screamed that. That's weird.
I know.
Inside the Oval Office, the Prime Minister expressed some high praise for the president.
Mark, would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I'm on the edge of my seat, actually. But thank you for your hospitality and above all for your leadership. You're a transformational president. Focus on the economy with a relentless focus on the American worker, securing your borders, ending the scourge of fentanyl and other opioids, and securing the world. And
Securing
I've
the
been
world.
elected with my colleagues here. With the help of my colleagues here, I'm going to spread the credit to transform Canada. with a similar focus on the economy, securing our borders. Again,
transform it into a state.
Much greater focus on defense and security, securing the Arctic and developing the Arctic.
Yep.
And the history of Canada and the U.S. is we're stronger when we work together, and there's many opportunities to work
Please
together.
don't hit me.
Look forward to addressing some of those issues that we have, but also finding those areas.
Okay, we got it.
Great. Very nice.
Great.
Thank you
Very
very
nice.
much. Very nice.
All righty.
All right.
It's a good start, right?
That is for Trump.
Yep. He did address the 51st state situation. Here's Carney on that.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace, that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.
Well, we're not buying
but
Yeah, we never
the
said anything about
opportunity
buying
is
it.
in the partnership and what we can build
If we
together.
want it, we'll
have
just
done that in the
take
past.
it.
And part of that, as the president just
Buying
said,
anything.
is with respect to our own security.
And you'll thank us for it.
And
Yeah.
my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of
That's
it.
true. And they I want to say Canada is stepping up the military participation because Mark knew, they were low, and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
Thank you. Thank you. Plus, I would love for him to say, well, I never said we were buying it.
Yeah,
So-
right. I didn't say anything about payment.
That's right.
That just makes you get your back up and say, okay, we never offered to buy
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
We'll
Thank
just
you.
take it. Stop us if you can.
That's correct.
We're going to take it. Now, I don't want it, and I don't think we should do that, but that's what the
There's some things that just aren't for sale.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. It's an interesting relationship.
That is.
It's going to be wild to watch this back and
Sure
forth.
Because it
is.
seemed like that relationship was a lot harsher when Mark was on the other side of the border.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, he changes his
He
tune
sure did.
when he's right in front of the guy. President Trump discussed the relationship between the U.S. and Canada.
We are the largest client of the United States in the totality of all the goods. So we are the largest client of the United States. We have a tremendous auto sector between the two of us, and the changes that made have been helpful. 50% of a car that comes from Canada is American. That's not like anywhere else in the world. And to your question about is there one thing? No, this is a bigger discussion. There are much bigger forces involved, and this will take some time and some discussions, and that's why we're here, to have those discussions, and that is represented by who's sitting around the table.
See, the conflict is, and this is very friendly. We're not. This is not going to be like we had another little blow up with somebody else. That was a much different. This is a very friendly conversation, but. We want to make our own cars. We don't really want cars from Canada. And we put tariffs on cars from Canada. And at a certain point, it won't make economic sense for Canada to build those cars. And we don't want steel from Canada because we're making our own steel, and we're having massive steel plants being built right now as we speak. We really don't want Canadian steel, and we don't want Canadian aluminum and various other things because
nothing
we
you
want to be
have
able
that
to
we
do it
want.
ourselves.
I barely want
And
your syrup.
We, because of
syrup.
past thinking of people, we have a tremendous deficit with Canada. In other words, they have a surplus with us, and there's no reason for us to be subsidizing Canada. Canada's
Anyway, thanks for coming.
will have to be able to
He's
take care
so
of itself
uncomfortable.
economically. I assume they can. I will tell you that Trudeau, when I spoke to him,
Are
I
you
used
still
to
on
call
the
him
edge of your
Governor
seat,
Trudeau. I
Mark?
think that probably didn't help his election. But when I spoke to him, I said, so why are we taking your cars? Why are we taking we want to make them ourselves. I said, and if the price of your cars went up, or if we put a tariff on your cars of 25%, what would that mean to you? He said that would mean the end of Canada. He actually said that to me. And I said, that's a strange answer, but I understand his answer. But no, I mean, it's hard to justify subsidizing Canada to the tune of maybe $200 billion a year. We protect Canada militarily, and we always will. We're going to, that's not a money thing. But we always will. But, it's not fair. But why are we subsidizing Canada $200 billion a year, or whatever the number might be? It's a very substantial number.
Again.
And it's hard for the American taxpayer to say, gee whiz, we love doing that.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Holy cow. At least he says it right in front of them.
No doubt about it.
He says it when they're not here, and he says it when they are.
That's awesome.
There were so many times during that gathering yesterday where Mark Carney is just awkwardly, looking down, wiping his leg, just like, what do I do here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He's in a tough situation.
No doubt he is.
Man, he's got to answer to his people. He's got to answer to Parliament. And yet he's got to present that. He's got to present the front that he's strong. Yeah. And he can stand up to Trump. And that's what he has to do. And that's what I'm doing. And so that's why he said immediately, Canada is not for sale. It'll never be for sale. But then he's got to listen to President Trump go through the whole litany of why we don't need Canada at all. We don't want their crap, okay? The only thing worthwhile in that whole country is poutine. We'll take that, okay? We'll keep getting the French fries with cheese curds and gravy on it, but you can keep everything else, including your stupid syrup, all right? We got Vermont here.
That's fair.
Wow. So,
that's awesome.
President also gave a big update on what's been going on with the Houthi terrorists.
Had some very good news last night. The Houthis have announced that they are not, or they've announced to us at least, that they don't want to fight anymore. They just don't want to fight.
That's amazing.
And
that sure is.
We will honor that, and we will stop the bombings.
Okay.
And they have capitulated, but more importantly, we will take their word. They say they will not be blowing up ships anymore. And that's what the purpose of what we were doing. So that's just news. We just found out about that. So I think that's very, very positive.
No doubt.
They were knocking out a lot of ships going, as you know, sailing beautifully down the various seas. It wasn't just a canal. It was a lot of other places. What is your problem? And I will accept their word, and we are going to stop the bombing of the Houthis. Effective immediately, and Marco, you'll let everybody know that. Do you have something to say about that, by the way? It's a pretty big announcement.
Yeah, this was always a freedom of navigation mission. These are, a band of individuals with advanced weaponry that were threatening global shipping, and the job was to get that to stop. And if it's going to stop, then we can stop. And I think it's an important development.
Very important development. So they have promised to stop attacking shipping. Because we just pounded them hard. That caused a massive oil leak, in fact, into the Red Sea after our airstrike killed, 70 people or something. And Israel, at this, right around the same time, destroyed their airport of the capital city. I mean, who knows what the capital city of Yemen is called? But whatever it's called, they have it. They have an airport there, and the Israelis destroyed it.
Yeah.
So I guess now they've finally had enough. At least with us, they said we're not going to attack shipping anymore.
See if it holds up.
That's exactly what we wanted out of that. And supposedly we got it. We'll see. We'll see if that holds up, and we'll see if they really mean what they said. But I hope so. That'd be great.
I think one time that they attack, President Trump will call Marco and say, "Unleash hell." Yeah,
exactly. They don't want that.
They do not want that.
Here's your trivia for the day. The capital.
There you go. Sana.
Yemen. Yeah.
Sana'a.
You got 3 vowels out of 5 letters.
Do we know that for sure?
Sana.
Just because you typed that on your screen, is that so?
That doesn't.
No one knows.
It says Yemen capital.
Yeah.
By the way, on the tariff front, looks like India and the U.S. have an agreement that will be formalized by this fall. I don't know how many products are involved, but I saw 0% tariffs on a lot of goods. I mean, this is...
Okay. It's moving along.
It sure is. And China is going to sit down and talk with the U.S.?
Well, they need to.
Yeah.
They need to. They've got their people in revolt right now. They're demanding pay. Things are changing. And no matter the rhetoric coming from the communist leadership, the reality is completely different. They keep saying, "Yeah, we don't need you. We don't need you." Well, yeah. Seems like your 1.4 billion people disagree with that.
It could be interesting to your point about the revolt there. If we look back a decade from now and go, "Wow, remember when China fell? It all started with Trump's tariffs."
Right. That
I don't
could
know,
happen.
but good things are happening on the tariff front. Just trust the process, right?
Exactly. It's hard.
Yeah.
It is.
We need to do it. All right, the weather is heating up, and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. If you wake up too hot or too cold, let me highly recommend that you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA, and they use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating, so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable, too, without the high price tag of other luxury brands. They feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some five-star hotels. So stop sleeping on bacteria. That can cause all kinds of things for you that you don't want. It's nasty. I don't even like to name the things it causes. It's just not good. It's not good.
You don't want it.
And then, of course, we had the analogy that your bed sheets and your pillowcases did have more germs than a toilet seat, which is not pleasant. Right?
It is not.
You don't want to sleep on or in
not.
that. You don't want that. So sleep cleanly with Miracle. Upgrade your sleep as the weather heats up. Go to trymiracle.com/Pat and try Miracle Made sheets today. Whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, maybe Mother's Day, whatever it is, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code PAT at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set, too, and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product that it's backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not 100% satisfied, for whatever reason, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Pat. Use the promo code PAT to claim your 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Pat.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So, trade deals being made with various countries. You got Canada in here with hat in hand.
Okay, actually, you're doing a really good job. I'm sorry, and I just want to be friends. And can't we just work this out?
You got the Houthis essentially surrendering. It's been a good week so far. It's been a really good week. And over at the Capitol, Speaker Mike Johnson posted this video in front of his office door.
Okay.
Can't wait. Gulf of America. There it is.
That was part of a tweet where he said, we're making it official or something. It's
okay. So that they're going to try to codify that in law, right?
Yeah. So thanks.
So there you go.
I mean, that's
an important one.
That's a win. I mean, it's not. It's not my taxes getting lowered.
No, it is not.
It's not the Epstein files getting released. Not the wall getting built. But we got the name of the Gulf changed officially, so that's great.
Phew,
and
that
he
was
said
a close one.
That they weren't going to make it on time, right? For the bill.
We're going to make it on time? What do you mean?
He said that GOP might miss the Memorial Day deadline to pass the Trump spending bill.
Why?
Hold on.
They're busy.
Are they?
They're busy.
Are they?
Okay. Busy, Pat.
All right. And they've got vacations to get to.
They're busy.
Right?
They've got Gulf of America to worry about.
Yeah, right. Well, they took care of that. That's kind of behind us now.
Okay. Go. Whew.
Yeah.
Well, it has to go through the Senate.
Well, it does, yeah. But,
so it's not a done deal.
But, I mean, their part is done.
Okay.
Elsewhere in the Capitol yesterday, several of Trump's cabinet members were testifying in front of Congress. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins was one of them, and had to explain math to Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin.
specifically to Wisconsin, your program in Wisconsin, aside from what was pulled back, still has $1.2 million left sitting in a bank account out of $8.1 million in your local food purchase assistance program. You also, your state, not you, Senator, but your state asked for a contract extension because they couldn't spend the money fast enough. Your tribes have $500,000 left out of $700,000.
Programs because the local food assistance purchase
that's the LFPA.
That creates opportunities for local farms to produce fresh produce. Some of these others, get canned commodities, etc. I've visited several food pantries.
I'm talking about the
in
LFPA,
Wisconsin right
Senator.
now. And we have 200 to 300 farms that were engaged in this, and this was an expected customer.
I'm talking about the LFPA.
That they no longer
Hello.
have.
But Senator, it was a COVID era program that, by the way, you still have millions of dollars left, right, that you can use to pay those farmers. That's the point.
Thank you.
A lot of that money was never spent. You couldn't spend it fast enough. That's not fair to the taxpayers. Do you know USDA spends $400 million a day on nutrition and food programs, just USDA.
What?
That's aside from
amazing.
this food bank. There is plenty of money in the system.
Wow.
We just have to be better about how we're spending it. So I hear you, but I think that it's important to look at where this money is sitting, how it is being spent, and making sure that we're using the taxpayer dollars
That's what I hear.
But
that she's a moron. Yeah.
But thank you.
But
I
thank
hear
you.
No.
That's great.
It's a lot of money being spent.
$400 million a day?
That is shocking.
I don't know that I have ever heard that number before.
I never have. Wow. Also, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem dealing with Texas Representative Veronica Escobar.
I also wanted to ask you about this NBC News story, and I'll enter into the record this article as well. U.S. citizen family traumatized after ICE raided their Oklahoma home in search of someone else. And according to the local affiliate, KFOR, which was reporting on this story, immigration agents raided the home last week. They had a search warrant for the home, but the suspects listed on the warrant were no longer living in the home. The family was forced to wait outside in the rain during the search. Mother and her girls, all U.S. citizens.
Did they get wet?
Their money was taken, their laptop, their cell phone. I asked you at the top of our first round if you believed it was important for DHS and if you would attest to the fact that DHS needs to rectify any mistakes. If this were a mistake, will you ensure that this family, this U.S. citizen family, gets its property back in a timely manner?
Well, in that particular situation, the warrant for that situation was on the house and the facility, not on the individuals that were there. And so that house was being used for human smuggling. And so those operations were conducted against the facility. And
pause it for a second.
Even in that situation.
You know what's great about this? She knows
the story.
Exactly.
Anytime they had a Biden rep in front of them. I'm not aware of that. I don't know that.
I'll have to get back to you on that.
I can't comment on that, but I'm happy to get back to you at a later date.
Because that's why we always screamed, open the tablet.
She knows. She knows about it. She's prepared for it.
Oh, yes,
she answers it. This is great.
And smuggling. And so those operations were conducted against the facility. And even in that situation, there were some individuals there with the same last names and some of the similarities.
But
and
if
so
it were a mistake,
Madam
Secretary,
we believe everything was done appropriately, and we'll continue to make sure that it is done and handled appropriately.
All right. Well, appreciate you looking into it. That not my constituents, but.
So let it go.
Isn't that great?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So she slaps her. Well, okay, but let's say if it ever did happen, where you were really wrong, would you try to make it right?
I thought that was so great. After she answered, the representative was like, "Well, they're not my constituents. I'm in Texas. That's Oklahoma. So it's not really that big of a deal now that you say it. I don't really care anymore." That was awesome.
Since you slapped me down anyway. Yeah, I just lost all my interest in that story.
So funny.
Since I didn't know what I was talking about, and you do, let's move on to something else, all right? That's not even my territory.
The congressman's time has expired.
That's good.
Kristi Noem also had to deal with Representative Rosa DeLauro. Oh my gosh, she is. Oh my gosh, she has been
Where is the evidence?
Hang on, she has been. Oh, right here there. We go. Look at that. Just pause right there.
I love that look right there. I do.
Rosa DeLauro has to just go away. I mean, go home. Time to go home.
That's a Disney villain if I've ever seen one.
I know. I love it.
And that is some fresh dye in that hair as well. So she's bitching and complaining because how dare we have an administration that wants to find the waste and fraud in FEMA?
Let her go here. Let's see what happens.
Where is the evidence of the failure of FEMA?
Congresswoman, we still have claims open from Hurricane Katrina. We have fire claims that are still unpaid to people who said they were due them 7 to 8 to 10 years old. They have never been paid by FEMA. So one of the worst things that the federal government can do is to stand up in front of the American public and say, we will be there, we will walk alongside you in the most horrible time of your life, and then never follow through on it. Well, what the president has said is he's sick and tired of federal agencies that pick and choose who wins and who loses. He wants to make sure that the federal government's commitment, when it makes a commitment, that it follows through. So he's going to empower states.
The federal government is abdicating its commitment to the American people who find themselves.
Certainly under Joe Biden's administration.
Let me just say this to you. The Office of Professional Responsibility. The Office of Professional, because I knew you were going to go there. As you know, FEMA's Office of Professional Responsibility. Under the Biden administration, there was no evidence, no direction or agency or field leadership to discriminate against disaster victims based on political affiliation. Was a charge.
That's BS.
I'll follow up with you.
Well, and I will follow up. I will follow up, and I follow up with my colleagues, quite frankly, and to really listen to people whose states, communities have been devastated, and what role FEMA has played. I don't know how many millions and millions of dollars went out in Louisiana. Actually, I've asked my staff to calculate that when Katrina hit. And the response was overwhelming. And the response has been overwhelming. If you want to make corrections, that's fine. We all agree with that.
Yeah, we can point to thousands and thousands of
if you wouldn't mind getting this committee, the information and the evidence where you talk about the dysfunction of the agency and where it has really failed. That would be important to those of us who are appropriating dollars.
You know, it might also be important. Stop dyeing your hair purple. Okay, well, you're 165 years old.
That's her look.
Just let your
I don't want to hear your jewelry rattling when you're talking either.
Right?
That's a pet peeve of mine. Ask the people of Western North Carolina how effective FEMA was when they showed up and then disappeared 5 minutes later after doing nothing for the people there.
Yeah.
And then when Donald Trump took office and his FEMA went in there, it has been night and day. Just like watching...
And we had whistleblowers say that they don't help the Trump people.
And Noem is night and day. I mean, you had one that was just this spastic, freaking out on the stand, and then Noem's just like calm, grace, responding.
Yeah, you don't want none of that. You shouldn't be trying to go up against Kristi Noem. Yeah, when you're Rosa DeLauro. You got no chance.
Yeah, and then you got the gravel pit to think about, too.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. Let's not forget about that.
In the back of your mind every time you're talking to her. Please don't put me in that gravel pit.
I bet she loves that. I bet she loves the gravel pit talk.
It worked out for her.
Take the horse, take the dogs. We're going out there.
Yep. All right. There is a lot more to get to. Both good and bad. I mean, there was a lot going on yesterday, and we'll get to as much of it as we possibly can. And, of course, the conclave begins today.
Yeah.
So we're keeping a very close eye on when that white puff of smoke comes up for Pope Fatimus Maximus.
I mean, we're rooting for Jeffy. I mean, it's just kind of torn.
As well as Pope Obesius.
Fatimus. Right. I thought it was Fatimus Obesius Maximus.
We don't want to lose.
They added Maximus, the original, so I'm kind of going with it.
Okay.
The original was not with Maximus. But I lost that round.
Well, you did. So I think you should
Maximus. So
change it a little bit, just out of superstition. You should change it, and then maybe you win this time. We'll see. I guess
that's what I'm hoping for.
I guess we'll see. First vote. What does it take? 2/3.
2/3. Yeah. You get one vote today, and then a couple the next few days. And after that, that's a couple in the morning.
Just like the NFL draft.
Afternoon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I hope you're a day one pick, Jeffy.
I do too.
Well, thank you.
Again, we're keeping a close eye on it. We'll let you know. In the meantime, Fatimus Obesius is going to chew the fat next.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
In the whore. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Interesting. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where Dirty Mule tweets, is there an apartment in Vatican City that can house a Pope, Jeffy?
Well, yes.
Let me eat!
Of course there is.
There is. Okay, sure.
Why is that?
So they have fat guy apartments, is what we're saying, I think.
Oh, I see. I thought there was no fat shaming on
No, there's not. He's just checking for your well-being.
Oh.
That's not shaming. He's just making sure.
Yeah, like wider doorways.
They're prepared. It's preparedness. That's all it is.
Okay.
Okay. From Thom Tillis, he tweets, is it Vatican Casual Day? Where's your meter, Jeffy?
Yeah, it is Vatican Casual Day. And when I get the text from the Vatican saying, hey,
you're the guy.
Smoke's going up for you, bro.
Right.
Get here. Then we'll do full garb. Plus, that's when I get it fitted for me.
Yeah, okay.
This is just a generic.
Were they?
This is just off the rack Pope.
Yeah. Okay.
Once you get there,
Makes sense.
you get to the Vatican, now you're talking about.
It's like the green jacket.
Tailored out.
Yeah.
Right.
You get a generic one, and then they fit you.
Were they a little disappointed that you weren't going to actually physically be there today, and that you're going to do this
Does that
remotely?
have a strike against you then?
It probably is a strike.
Yeah.
Shoot.
But
yeah.
So it's going to be our fault if you don't get the call.
Dang it! We should have planned this for another day.
Sorry, dude. We can't handle can't change the calendar.
No.
Wednesday.
Flensborg B tweets, Jeffy, just stay vigilant. We root for you as the new guardian for God.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, the guardian for God. Jeff Fisher.
Well,
let me talk to some Sicilian guys to shake up the Vatican.
Oh, no.
I don't know that that'll be necessary.
that won't be necessary.
Lone Wolf 2965. It sounds like the Canadian Prime Minister is unfamiliar with the concept of an offer you can't refuse.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
I love that. Yeah. Let me make you an offer you can't refuse. Over there. We'll give you $1.50 for your stupid country, and you'll take it. Over there. No more curling, neither. Okay. Over there.
In fact, in the words of Michael Corleone, here's my offer.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I offer you nothing. And in fact, you will pay for the license. For the license.
For the privilege. For the privilege of being in America.
In the documentary Godfather, Michael Corleone makes that very clear.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Grammy Tamara. The USA is $36 trillion in debt. Can we afford to buy Canada?
We have a credit card?
No.
Again.
It'd have to be like an Amex Black card, probably.
Yeah, whatever.
Again,
we're going to buy
Canada.
We're not buying it.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
I wonder what the price tag would be, though. What would you pay for Canada?
Pesos.
Here's my offer.
Nothing. Nancy's Vodka Soaked Dentures, 2025 Congress, one worthless victory at a time.
Yep.
That does seem to be their theme,
Yes,
doesn't
it does. Yes, it does.
All right, let's chew the fat now with Jeffy.
He's not the straw that broke the camel's back. Those are journals, noses, and that's a fact. He's not a gay bar turned board operator. Just one goal, there's a very skilled breaker. He's not the lovely redhead with home remedies, and she is not one of
That's for sure.
Kennedy's. He's not the other guy in a baseball hat. His name is Jeffy, and he's here to chew the fat.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. Today's the day, and we wait for the chemicals to be burned, either white or black. I don't know if the chemicals, if they're legal in the U.S. or not, but they use different chemicals to let us know. Black means we haven't chosen. White means we have a new pope. I'm awaiting the text prior to the white smoke blowing.
Right.
And so the conclave starts since the 1900s. The conclave has ended in under 4 days. Francis was elected pope at the end of the second day in 2013. I well remember that. That was that's when I found out I lost. Disappointing run there in 2013. No, you don't. No, you don't. So one of the things, though, speaking of Francis, is one of his Pope mobiles that the late pontiff used to greet thousands of people when he went to Bethlehem is going to be turned into a mobile health clinic to help the children of Gaza. Following a request by Pope Francis, the vehicle is being refitted with everything needed for frontline care in a war zone. The charity organization Caritas, which is overseeing the project, said there'll be rapid tests, suture kits, syringes, oxygen supplies, vaccines, and a small fridge for storing medicines. The Vatican said it was the Pope's final wish for the children of Gaza before he died last month. Vehicle is currently in Jerusalem and will enter Gaza if and when Israel opens a humanitarian corridor. He'll be able to reach the children who today have no access to health care, children who are injured and malnourished. Yeah, whose fault is that? Anyway, a team of doctors will run the mobile clinic, and they will have the capabilities to examine and treat patients, and there will be a dedicated driver. It's not just a vehicle, though, Pat. This is a message to the world that they have not forgotten about the children of Gaza. So
it's great.
It was reported that during the 18 months of the war, Pope Francis called parishioners in Gaza nightly. I don't know if that still happened when he was in the hospital or not, but there is one Catholic church in Gaza, the Holy Family Church. So at the same time he did that, he was saying that the international community should examine whether Israel's military offensive in Gaza should be classed as a genocide. No. And we'll see how long the Pope Mobile Health Clinic will last, if and when it's allowed in over there in Gaza. We'll see if it actually does help the children. Because I have a feeling this is just, if I become elected Pope, I will see to it that the Pope Mobile, helps the children of Gaza.
Okay. That's your promise. That's your pledge.
Promise, yeah.
Okay.
Once it's in Gaza, though, it's on you. It's on you. Congratulations to Lady Gaga. 2.5 million people attended her concert this weekend in Rio de Janeiro on the Copacabana beach. The concert was free. It was put on by the city. She now holds the record for the highest attended concert in history by a female artist, which broke Madonna's record for the highest attended concert by a female artist set in 2024 at the same venue.
What's the overall?
Madonna had 1.6 million attendees. Okay.
That same venue, right?
Yeah.
At Copacabana Beach. Yeah.
Now, the largest concert in Rio on the beach. Any guesses?
I
will say I would not have guessed this.
The Connells.
Rolling Stones.
That's what I thought.
The Who.
It was in 1994.
Okay, wait. 1994.
New Year's Eve.
It was
3.5 million.
Nirvana.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart.
Wow. I know. So they said that I don't know how much they paid her to show up. They wouldn't say, but they were saying that this concert would inject about $100 million in the local economy. Wow. So they're going to continue to have some more of these free concerts in Rio. But the Ministry of Justice and Public Security, and I love them, released a statement saying that authorities thwarted a plot, a larger extremist network, to infiltrate the concert. They wanted to detonate improvised explosive devices just to gain notoriety online. And Gaga said she learned about this from the media, just like everyone else did. They arrested them hours before the show.
Right.
Boy, that would not have been good.
Wow. Yeah, they wanted
to quote me on that.
They wanted to bomb. They wanted to kill kids and stuff.
Yeah, well, they were
sacrifice
recruiting
children.
teens to go in and do it.
And they're reported to be an anti-LGBTQ group.
That's what they reported.
That's what they're reporting. But the guy who was the head guy there was just deported from the United States. Thank you, Donald Trump. That didn't happen here.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it didn't happen there either.
I got it.
Okay. So good for them for
no doubt, and congratulations
finding that
to
and
Gaga.
preventing that.
That's incredible. I know. That's a lot of people.
Look at that sea of humanity. That's incredible.
That sure is
so bad.
Wow.
Oh, it would have been horrific.
Yeah,
no
it
question.
would have.
Instead, it was awesome.
Yep.
Self-driving semis are officially making the long-haul deliveries in the great state of Texas without anybody on board.
What?
It's become. It's going to become.
So they don't even have a just-in-case person in the vehicle?
No
They've been
longer.
warning about this.
The autonomous freight from Aurora is now hauling goods on popular routes between Dallas and Houston without the safety driver. It's following 4 years of practice runs. They said they've already logged 1,200 human-free miles.
Wow.
Its first customers are Uber Freight and Hirschbach Motor Lines.
How fast they going?
More than 1 in 10 freight trucks you see on the U.S. roads will be self-driven by 2035.
Wow.
Okay. So, I mean, look, no one supports truckers more than myself or chewing the fat. And this is going to come as a surprise to you. The truckers unions have
probably
criticized.
don't like this,
No,
right?
they do not.
Right.
They do not like that. That's a good call.
Thank you.
Because they do not.
Okay.
They're unhappy with the whole situation. And they say one of the things is because the self-driving vehicles lack federal regulation. I mean, I don't know how crazy I am about federal regulations. But, I think we need to be safe.
When it comes to having a driver in the truck, I'm kind of okay with that. That maybe they regulate that.
Yeah,
maybe you need a driver in the truck.
At least 10 more companies are closing in on their own self-driving truck tech, which is going to be, launched commercially next year. I would say that if there's an accident, it's going to be the human's fault, though, right? It's never going to be the autonomous truck's fault.
Right.
It's always going to be the human's fault. So,
and we don't know how fast they're driving.
So
probably speed limit. Right?
Yeah. So
Also slow.
I mean, if you drive by a semi and you give them the honk 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 honk, there's nobody to pull the horn.
Right.
How
So they'll be-
disappointing.
I know. It's sad. Kids these days missing out on making the semi driver blow the horn. Don't worry about playing one, Chris. Don't worry about it. Subscribe to my daily show, Chewing the Fat, available wherever you get your podcasts. Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher. Rate and review where you can, please. Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher.
Also, did you know that Fast Growing Trees is the biggest online nursery in the United States of America? They have thousands of different plants and over 2 million happy customers. They have all the plants your yard needs: fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and an awful lot more. So whatever plant you're interested in, Fast Growing Trees has you covered. Plus, they'll help you find just the perfect fit for your climate and your space. I love their experts. They're really good at this. They help me choose just the right plant. I have no idea what grows in Texas, what doesn't. No idea. But they do, and they will direct you like they did me. So then your plant is delivered directly to your door in just a few days. You never have to leave your home. It is just so convenient. And on top of all of that, they have an Alive and Thrive guarantee, so that ensures that your plants are going to be healthy when they get there. Otherwise, they take care of it for you. Plus, you'll get support from these trained plant experts. They're just on call the whole time to help you plan your landscape and choose the right plant for your space and your climate. And they are the experts. They know what they're talking about. This spring, they have the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And because you're a listener to this show, you'll get 15% off your first purchase when you use the promo code PAT at checkout. That's an additional 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com. Use the promo code PAT at checkout. fastgrowingtrees.com, promo code PAT. It's a perfect time to plant right now. So use the code PAT to save. The offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply.
Here, for you, Jeffy.
All right, we continue with Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher here on Pat Gray Unleashed. I was looking at the top movies from this past weekend. Number one, Thunderbolts. 76 million domestic, 162.1 million global. Marvel's B Squad. But they released, everybody made a big deal out of all their social media posts, Thunderbolts with the asterisk next to it. And so they released the full name video. The Thunderbolts are now the new. Let's go! I broke it to you too early. I spoiled the ending. Oh, look at that! New Avengers. So there you have it. The Thunderbolts are the new Avengers. Minecraft movie.
What happened to the old Avengers?
Yeah, they're old.
They're gone.
They're old.
Yeah, they're
old.
They
gone.
put to bed all the Avengers.
Every single one of them. I don't like this idea, but okay.
Why'd they do it?
Because they're old.
Everybody likes them.
I know.
And I watched Thunderbolts.
Oh, you did?
They're not
good?
the new Avengers.
Really?
I'm sorry. No, they're not.
Okay.
The audience disagrees. The rest of the audience kind of disagrees.
Did not have a great opening weekend.
Oh, it's pretty good.
76 million?
76 million? That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
I mean, that's not terrible.
Minecraft still hasn't hit $1 billion. And it's week 5. It's number 3 at the box office. Sinners number 2. There's still 873 million. Hasn't hit $1 billion yet. My favorite, though, was King of Kings. Obviously still hanging in there in the top 10. Number 7 with 57.7 million. Pretty good. And number 10 was my favorite movie of the week was Rust, the Alec Baldwin movie. He took in $25,000.
Oh God! $25,000.
$25,000.
Oh wow!
$217 per screen at 115 theaters, which is not good at all. Anyway,
wow.
Now they also released it on pay-per-view as well, so you can get video on demand.
Wow.
They did not. I did not see any numbers for that. So you can see it at theaters, or you can buy it or rent it. Apple TV Plus and Amazon Video have it. You can buy it for $14.99. Not going to do that. You can rent it for $6.99. Now, I do want to see it. I don't necessarily want to pay extra to see it. But the only saving grace is that any funds from the movie are being paid to the family of Helena Hutchins.
Oh.
So, I mean, that's good. I'm kind of torn. Yeah, I'm kind of torn. I wouldn't mind giving a little money to that. Dear old Alec, though, you know him, you love him, is not taking it well. I mean, it's reported that he's abruptly stopped filming of his new reality show, the Baldwins, and he directed crew members to get out of here.
Wow.
So I don't know if he's off his meds or if he's upset about the movie or if he's just, trying to drum up some talk about the show because the show is not
doing well
at all. Not doing well.
It is kind
at
of
all.
weird. I'm a little bit surprised they released it at all.
Yeah, because it's been quite.
That just hangs over the whole movie when you're sitting there watching, knowing, okay, a woman was killed in this thing.
Any kind of church, and that church, any church scene, that's where she died.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
It's weird. 888-933-93. More Packer Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Mark Carney was in town yesterday. I think that continues today, right? He's in town for a while. He's in Washington, D.C.
We didn't kick him
Prime
out
Minister
yet.
of Canada. We haven't kicked him out yet.
Okay.
Shouldn't have allowed him in the first place. Although his tone definitely changed, in front of the president. President's tone did not really change.
So he came into town yesterday. He didn't need his real ID, but he's leaving after today, which he needs his real ID.
All right.
Is he going to get stuck here?
He might.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
That would be awesome.
We'll have to send him to CCOT. Send him to El Salvador.
Alcatraz.
Okay.
No.
NMP.
It's Alcatraz now.
Well, it's not remodeled yet.
Yeah,
so
well,
that'll be a couple
we'll
weeks.
be the first one.
But the talk about Greenland also continues, and President Trump was just asked about, well, would you, if you need to, would you rule out military force? Nope, he won't rule out military.
That's because
force.
he knows we don't even need it. I don't know why this is. I really do. In fact, I'm very disappointed that we haven't just put the flag down.
Yeah, well, it hasn't happened yet.
Very disappointed.
Hasn't happened yet.
That needs to happen.
So
maybe I can stop off on my way to Rome.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you do that?
Put
and
the
just
flag
put
down.
the hammer down on him
Well,
and
the
the
United
flag.
States now. I got to get to the Vatican.
Surely they'd respect the Pope planting the flag, right? They'd have to respect that.
They'd have to.
Also, AOC was heckled by a psycho Hamas fan at an appearance. I think this was over the weekend. And all hell broke loose for a little while. It was on Friday when somebody started yelling at her about genocide in Gaza. Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Called her a war criminal. I mean, I do love it when liberals eat their own, but can you imagine someone so far left that AOC is too
is a war criminal,
too pro-Israel for them? I
mean, she may have said that she wanted some of them to live.
Yeah, I don't know that she's even said that.
I don't know that she has either.
She's essentially a member of the Hamas squad with Ilhan Omar, and the whole rest of them. Wow, what do you want to happen in that region for you to hate AOC because of it? Incredible. I mean, it's incredible.
Has she said that she wanted to carpet bomb Israel? Has she said that?
She has not said that.
Then we hate her.
She's a war criminal. I mean, they are talking about her as if she is the lead Democrat candidate for president in 28. And apparently she is, Can you imagine what that would do to this country?
Oh.
That cannot happen.
That'll be Wes Moore. He's out there talking about new patriotism. He's going to be their guy. Maryland governor, Wes Moore.
Maybe. Maybe. He's certainly not high profile enough yet. Nobody knows who he is.
That's the key when you're a Democrat.
That's true. That worked for Clinton.
People to know who you are and what you plan on doing to the country.
Yep.
Worked for Obama.
And Bill Clinton.
Yep.
It sure did. Sure did. The only one anybody's known for a long time was Biden. And look how that worked out.
Well, but did we know who was really pulling the strings behind the scenes?
No, we didn't. Nope. I think we suspected who was pulling the strings. Meanwhile, Mike Pence has chimed in on President Trump's tariffs. He says that they aren't going to work. Here's what he had to say. Mike Pence.
Clip 20.
Number 20.
He said that cheap goods was not a part of the American dream. Well, I'm somebody who spent almost my entire life in public service. We lived on our paycheck while we raised 3 kids and put 3 kids through college. Cheap goods are a big part of it.
That's what everybody does.
I think we ought to be candid about that.
So what's he saying? Cheap goods? Chris sent that in. So he's saying that cheap goods from China is the American dream?
Yes.
Okay. That's a,
really? Is
hot
that
take?
I think you guys need to listen to that one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
He said that cheap goods was not a part of the American dream. Well, I'm somebody who spent almost my entire life in public service. We lived on our paycheck while we raised 3 kids and put 3 kids through college. Cheap goods are a big part of it. I think we ought to be candid about that.
Yeah, okay. So they lived on their paycheck. Most people don't. Most people live on...
I don't live on my paycheck.
Rocks? I don't know.
Yes.
What do most people live on?
Government cheese.
Government cheese? Okay. Government cheese and rocks. That's what we live on, most of us. Others have these wacky things called paychecks. Huh. You ever heard of such a thing?
I have not.
It's an elitist thing.
What a dumbass thing to say. All right. Cheap goods. Part of the American dream. All right, good.
Well, I mean, it is. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the tariff thing isn't working.
No, I mean, and that's what he's saying. Tariffs don't work.
Yeah.
They already are working.
Yeah.
It's already happening. People are making deals with us right and left. And China is about to come to the table because they're not doing well. So it is working. We got to be a little bit patient and stick it out.
Is an attribute that
we don't
Americans do not have.
Correct.
Yeah, and I don't know what's true, but I mean, we've heard reports, at least I have, of it starting to get ugly in China. With workers getting a little wound up because they're not working.
And they'd like to be paid.
Yeah.
Apparently they haven't been paid for a while. Another Republican who's going against Trump right now, Senator Thom Tillis. President Trump has nominated Ed Martin to be the top prosecutor for the District of Columbia, and he'll need Senate approval. But standing in the way is Senator Thom Tillis, who disagrees with Ed Martin when it comes to some of the prosecutions of J6ers. Here was Tillis yesterday explaining his opposition to Ed Martin.
He is, I don't believe he's being advanced to the markup. I met with Mr. Martin. He seems like a good man. Most of my concerns related to January 6th. And he built a compelling case on some of the 15-12 prosecutions that were probably heat of the moment bad decisions. But where we probably have a difference is I think anybody that breached the perimeter should have been in prison for some period of time. Whether it's 30 days or 3 years is debatable, but I have no tolerance for anybody who entered the building on January the 6th, and that's probably where most of the friction was.
Okay, he's got no tolerance for anybody who entered the building.
Broke the perimeter.
Okay, you know that's a building we pay for, right? You know that's our building. What? Just going into the building is not an issue to me. If you just went in there and walked around, so what?
Yeah,
you were allowed in by police officers in many cases.
But were you allowed to mill?
Yes. Yes, you can mill.
Parade?
Even parade, yeah.
A couple of interesting notes in the fallout from this story is that Thom Tillis is up for re-election in 2026. And also, if they don't get Martin through, then guess who gets to pick the D.C. attorney? It's Judge Boasberg, the activist leftist judge who has been stopping Trump at every possible turn.
That'd be bad.
On that alone, Tillis should get the hell out of the way of Trump's pick. Not good.
No, it's not. And a Republican who plays into that whole left-wing BS about how bad January 6th was. It wasn't good. I mean, yeah, there was rioting. There were some who were breaking things and should be arrested. But most of them, even those who went into the building, didn't do anything once they were inside.
Nope. That's what he said. Anyone who broke the perimeter.
Yeah. I broke the perimeter, so I need to go to jail for 3 years? Are you serious?
Or 30 years, or whatever it is.
Whatever. He doesn't even care. That's the thing.
He doesn't care.
He's so flippant.
30 days,
just like,
3 years.
Yeah. 30 years, whatever
30 years, 100 years.
Just lock him
Put
away.
him to death. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure.
They broke the perimeter. Whatever.
I mean, of course, if you move to lectern, that's an execution style penalty. Yeah, execution.
We're going to leave you hanging outside the building.
You could maybe touch the lectern. That would only be a year and a half. But if you move it, sorry.
20 feet.
You got to go down.
Can't do anything.
You're going down. We're putting you down. So, congratulations on that.
I mean, holy cow.
Weird. Wow. That's bad.
Where's he from?
North Carolina.
Bye.
J6er named John Strand responded to Tillis, though.
I'm John Strand.
Hi, John.
I was persecuted by a weaponized Democrat DOJ for peacefully walking through the Capitol on January 6th.
That's what I'm saying.
I was sentenced to nearly 3 years in prison for violence, for refusing to accept a plea deal that required me to lie and affirm the government's fraudulent narrative.
Oh, wow.
Now, Senator Thom Tillis is opposing Ed Martin, one of the few men who actually understands the injustice that I and hundreds of others have endured. This isn't politics. It's a cover-up. A cowardly effort to protect political insiders and corrupt officials who abused their power to silence dissent. If Tillis won't support President Trump's nominee, a man clearly dedicated to justice, then I will dedicate myself to ending Thom Tillis's career.
Good.
I will work tirelessly to see him exposed, primaried, and removed from office.
Good for you, John.
We will not let cowards cover for tyranny.
There you go.
Confirm Ed Martin. And if you're watching this, share it. Make sure Tillis knows. We see him, and we won't forget this.
Good. He seems serious, though.
Yes, he does.
I think if I were put in prison,
I'd be serious too.
Unlawfully.
Yeah,
I'd be.
Yeah, a lot of jokes going on around him.
Man, I mean, good for him for standing up,
doubt.
taking a stand here. That's somebody who's really been through it. I mean, we just watched it, and I'm pissed off for him.
Right.
If I'd actually been through it,
holy cow.
I don't know.
I know.
I might give you a reason to lock me away.
Yeah. Yep. Also, this is kind of a surprise. The Supreme Court backed President Trump's ban on transgender troops. How about that?
Yeah.
Some good news from D.C. The Supreme's ruled it was a 6-3 ruling this time. So all the conservatives, supposed conservatives,
there he is.
actually voted the way you would expect conservatives to vote on this. How about that? Had Amy Coney Barrett, had Kavanaugh. So how about that?
Roberts.
Yeah, Roberts. Probably the most surprising of all.
Yeah.
In January, President Trump signed that executive order entitled Prioritizing Military Excellence and Readiness, saying that transgender troops did not meet the standard required of the armed forces, and directed the Department of Defense to enact a ban, and that just held up. And of course, Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, and Ketanji Brown Jackson all voted. Of course. Yeah. The other way.
Yeah, there was a long video, didn't send it in, of Defense Secretary Hegseth talking about how they've been reorganizing the military. And by the way, the lower courts are going to get another crack at this trans ban. So it's not completely done. And they just sent it back to the lower courts. But Hegseth, in his long video, talked about how back during World War II, there was one general per 6,000 enlisted. Today,
one general per 6,000.
Today, it's one general per 1,400 enlisted. He's like, we are top heavy with generals. We need more GIs, and we're going to fix this ratio. And a lot of other great things that he's doing over there.
Okay.
Hegseth's.
Yeah, he's on it.
He's doing a good job.
On it.
I just hope that he can.
And it's cool that it seems to have calmed down on the Hegseth front a little bit, because they're focused on other things right now. I know they'll get back to him,
yeah, they will.
But right now, that's quieted down.
I mean, we're all waiting for another signal text. And as soon as we get that, we'll be back.
Then they can get right back to it.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Blaze TV exists because in a world full of noise, we need a stronghold for bold voices, free thinkers, and fearless commentary that helps make sense of the chaos that we're going through. At Blaze TV, we've built a home for some of the strongest, smartest voices in conservative media. People who tell it like it is, who ask the tough questions the mainstream won't touch, and aren't afraid to challenge the narrative. When you subscribe to Blaze TV, you're not just watching content, you're supporting a movement. And that's what we love about you. And thank you for supporting our content creators here who refuse to be silenced and speak for you when you can't speak for yourself. So go to blazetv.com right now, blazetv.com/Pat. You're going to save $20 on a year's subscription. That's like, what is that? 6 cents a day or 26 cents a day. Is that what it is? So yeah, just $8 a month. And it's a really excellent deal. 26 cents a day to stand with a platform that stands with you, where you can do it on any device, anywhere you are, at any time of the day or night. blazetv.com/Pat.
Pat Gray will return after this.
Sarah the band. Oh no, Sarah Barra. Okay.
Oh.
Tweets driverless semis. Think of the lot lizards. Another job taken from cracked out women just trying to make a buck.
That's for sure. More jobs taken from Americans.
Climb up into the truck and it's empty. Whoops.
I'm going to be fascinated to see how it works at the. Like, I pass by that Kroger warehouse in my neck of the woods almost every day, and I'm fascinated to see how the driverless trucks deliver there. Because that parking lot takes some doing when those trucks show up when they've got them rowed up.
Yeah, can they park themselves like that?
Yeah,
and back up to the
yes, they have to, right?
Loading zone.
Yes, they have
all
to.
Of that. Interesting. Peekapool esculation Pokemon. How to take Greenland without firing a shot. This is good information right here. Number 1, invite the entire population of Greenland to a college or NFL football game.
The Gaga concert.
Or 2, just move in and take over the empty island.
Yeah.
That's the second step.
Yeah,
after the first step, obviously.
Interesting.
Not or, you would do both.
I mean, that just leans into we just put the flag down. You're ours now.
Look, I don't care if anyone's there or not.
Right. It's ours. We've decided.
They can watch history in the making.
OG Thor, Mike Pence told himself, essentially, he just admitted in his lifetime in politics that he's been able to live on other nefarious means besides a paycheck. I don't know why I can't say the word paycheck all of a sudden, but rowdy introvert, if Jeffy starts planting United States flags all over the world as the newly elected pope, well, they need to add the conqueror to the end of his papal name.
I'm all right with that. That's
Jeffy
fine.
the Conqueror.
Pope Vincius Fatimus Maximus, the Conqueror.
I like
it. I do too.
That's pretty good. All right, Keith, walk us through these, like Catherine Herridge.
Yeah, so Catherine Herridge.
Direct energy weapons?
It's amazing.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. Well, it's also scary.
Yeah.
It's the, if you're familiar with Atlas Shrugged, they had this was already foretold, and it appears to be a reality. And obviously, people have been talking about it in online circles.
And we've had it for a while.
Theory. Yeah, right. So Catherine Herridge, formerly of Fox News, formerly of CBS News, now has a channel where she investigates really cool stuff. And she did a report on this. Let's go ahead and play the first clip here. I think this is just her setting it up. Yeah.
What are the chances that 2 federal intelligence operatives...
Pause this. So remember the Havana syndrome that's been going on since the attack?
That they've denied?
Our government said, nothing happened here in Cuba.
Yeah, it was the sound waves or something that supposedly messed up our people in Cuba.
Right, so that was 10 years ago now. And so that's who is...
It's that long ago?
Right, that's who Herridge is referring to here.
Okay.
Operatives are hit by a directed energy weapon, or they're hit by something, and 10 years later, they're both diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's disease.
Ooh.
It's not likely. I think there's only one answer that makes total sense, which is that they were hit by a foreign adversary of the United States, and it was done with purpose.
Wow. All right, so that's clip 1. Now she is talking with a Dr. James Giordano. A couple of clips coming up here about the direct energy weapons and what they can accomplish.
How many types of directed energy weapons exist that have been used against U.S. government personnel?
To my experience and from my analysis, essentially 3. So we're looking at 2 forms of sonic weapon. They both use sound and the expansions and contractions of a sound wave as the mechanism by which it's going to disrupt function and structure of various tissues, but they do so differently. And the third was something that was really something of a revelation, and this is the use of scalable and directable microwaves.
Okay, all right, so there's your setup. And now she's...
So I don't know if it's because of the tats or the hair. I can't make out if it's tats or hair on his arms. But the whole 3 thing. With
I'm so glad you said this. That bugs me. I'm glad we're getting to the bottom of this.
I didn't listen to a word the man said.
This is 3.
After the 3,
this
I
is
was
3.
like, then we're done. I'm done with you.
This isn't 3.
He just illegitimized everything he ever said.
The whole thing. I didn't hear a word he said.
I love you. I had the same thought. That always irritates me. The 2 fingers and the thumb.
Yeah, is this one okay?
That one's fine.
Oh, this is okay, but I like this. To me, that's 3.
This whole 3 with the thumb.
If you're ranking them in order,
in the NBA, this is 3 now, right? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
They always do this.
And that's a racist symbol too. Don't forget.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's because it's the OK sign.
So,
which of course.
But this is never. I can't even.
Power.
We're not doing that.
This is never acceptable unless you're holding something down here that you can't let go of.
Listening.
And even then, let go of what you're holding.
Thank you.
And put up the 3.
Thank you.
The actual 3.
This is ADD in the morning right here. Okay, but this next clip is very important. Check this out.
Okay.
Giordano showed us how brain injuries like Beck's can happen. Hollow spaces in the skull, the mouth, nose, ears, and eye sockets can become echo chambers, funneling energy waves into the brain with catastrophic consequences.
I think the easiest way for a layperson to understand what particularly rapidly pulsed microwaves could do is to think about something like Wi-Fi connections in a cellular phone. So if you were to take your phone and put it in the microwave oven for a second or 2 seconds. You would take the phone out, and structurally it would look fine. It would seem that it would be working just fine for you on some levels. But the actual sophistication of that phone would have been changed as a consequence of the microwave damage. And not only will it change then, but that change is durable and characteristically progressive.
That's what a directed energy weapon attack does.
Yes, ma'am.
It fundamentally disrupts the brain network
Yes, ma'am.
and can cause brain cell death.
Yes, ma'am. It can cause both brain cell death and change in the functional ability of various cells and nodes in the brain to be able to maintain the networks that are so vital to our thought, our emotions, and our behaviors.
When a directed energy weapon attack happens, is that the end of the damage?
The problem with directed energy attacks, like many things that can happen to the brain, is that the initial insult at the injury itself is nothing more than the first snowball that then leads to the avalanche. The injury to the brain impairs the brain's ability to not only function at the time of the injury and thereafter, but to compensate effectively. So then you begin to see a cascade of effects.
Who or what is responsible?
This becomes difficult. But I think what's important to note is who has developed these technologies and who may be using them in a whole set of practices. Here we encounter, if you will, the big three: the United States and some of its international economic and technological and military allies, our trans-Pacific peer competitor, China, who has developed these types of technologies for a variety of uses, and certainly our transatlantic peer competitor, Russia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Russia, maybe. Okay.
That's frightening.
It sure is.
That's frightening.
Yeah, and that guy that was talking is a neuroscientist, and it's so sad in this report. She goes to assisted living homes and talks to these individuals who have reportedly been affected.
So they're already in an assisted living space?
Yeah, and they're young. It's
oh my gosh.
It really sucks.
And these were the diplomats that were in Havana.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
I know.
That's
something's up.
Yeah.
And our government is not telling the truth about it, and you hate to see that. But it's
what
a
a surprise that is, though, that the government wouldn't tell the truth about something. I can't. You can almost not even imagine it, right?
You can't.
You can almost not imagine it.
This government?
Not
my government.
Right.
One would think or could surmise that we did it to ourselves.
That is what some people wonder. I don't know.
Why would you do that?
It's another theory.
I don't know, Pat.
You must have a theory.
Wouldn't be the first time
from somewhere.
It wouldn't be the first time our government treated us as science experiments.
Yeah.
No, it would not. Probably 3 times at least. 3 times at least.
Wait. Arriba! Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right, let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. If you're buying or selling a home, doing both because you're relocating, you need a great real estate agent. You don't need somebody who was recommended to you by your cousin who knows somebody who does this once in a while, part-time. You don't need any of that. You need a committed realtor with a great track record who knows what buyers are looking for and can give you great advice along the way. It's really important. I mean, so important. It's a huge investment, probably the biggest investment you'll ever make in your life. So you need somebody by your side who can get you through all the details and relieve some of that stress. It's very stressful, selling a house, buying a house, because it's a big deal in your life. So go to Real Estate Agents I Trust. These are carefully vetted by Glenn's team. This, of course, is his company. He put it together so you wouldn't have to go through what he did in Connecticut when selling a house. And it's a free service we provide to you. There's really no reason not to try this. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. RealEstateAgentsITrust.com.
Now, more Pat Gray Unleashed.
I'm a little worried for the workers at the offices of Uber. Way back in 2022, workers were told that they were expected to be in the office 2 days a week.
What?
This was back in 2022.
2 days
This
a
was
week?
back in 2022, yeah. Well, the CEO just sent out a memo earlier this week informing the workers that good is not going to be good enough. We're embarking on big plans to remain competitive in the industry. And so beginning in June of this year, less than a month away for the workers to prepare, they're going to soon be required to work in the office 3 days a week.
No.
Stop
you made that up.
I did not. So
come on now. You can't expect it. You can't be expected to come into work 3 full days out of the week.
Yeah.
There's only 5 days in the work week.
That's the thing.
3 of them have to be in the office.
And most likely it's going to be with Wednesday the anchor day, so it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday usually.
That is not cool.
That is not.
You know, we had a labor revolt about a century ago in this country. It might be time for a new one. You start demanding people show up 3 days a week.
Right?
I know.
That's rough, man.
So you have to physically leave your house and go to work.
Correct, if you work at the corporate offices.
You know, that's interesting that you said Wednesday's the anchor day. I don't know if it happens everywhere else, but at least in Dallas-Fort Worth, a lot of people have told me, because when I commute, it's off hours. But apparently Wednesday is the worst day for traffic in a city because so many people remote work now. And so it's gradually...
That's the anchor day, yeah.
As you get closer to Friday
it's funny
or Monday...
you say that because on Friday mornings when I drive in at 4 a.m. or whenever I drive in, traffic is there's still a lot more cars on the road than there has been in the last 10 years at 4 a.m. in the morning for sure. Not like drive time traffic, but still a lot more. But Wednesdays is the heaviest.
Yeah,
driving in.
It's the anchor day.
Yeah.
It's no longer the hump day; it's the anchor day.
Anyway, good luck to the Uber employees.
Good luck.
I know.
You know what? I'd be finding another job if I were you. That is unreasonable.
Unacceptable.
You can't ask me to come in 3 full days during the work week.
What is this, Russia?
No, this is like old-time Soviet stuff. That's what this is.
So since we're coming 5 times a week, does it mean like we're slaves?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. Paid slaves, but slaves nonetheless, asking me to drive into a workplace.
Well, nobody said you had to drive.
Well, that's true.
You can walk.
That is true. You can walk.
Do whatever you need to do to get here.
Carpool.
Yeah,
something.
take a bus, whatever. Or here's an idea: Uber.
To Uber. Yeah. I mean, look where we are, though. It's so ridiculous.
I know.
And they're all pissed off about it.
I don't know about that.
They're all up in arms.
I don't know that.
No, I've seen a lot of the reaction is like.
There's multiple companies though that have gone to bat saying you need to start coming back into the office, and there are employees that are like, no.
Yeah, I know. It's insanity.
It is
what it is.
And look.
I mean, come on. That's how far we've come, though.
Come in 3 days a week. How about no? I'll come in when I want, if I want.
Right. And instead of...
And you'll be happy about it.
Instead of, all right, well, then you're fired. They usually accommodate that now. We made the mistake thinking that millenniums were going to have a rude awakening when they got to the workplace. Nope. They just changed everything. Everybody just bent over backwards and like, okay, I guess I can't ask you to actually come into work. That's ridiculous.
All right, we won't ask you to do that.
Okay, you can work from home, and we'll just send you a paycheck, and we'll guess that you're actually doing the job. Okay?
Right.
All right. Unreal is what it is, and yet that's where we are.
Yep.
Also, Chris, walk us through the what is this Colorado trans Jesus thing?
Well, this guy is in whatever they call the house, and he invokes trans Jesus during his speech.
What?
This is Colorado?
Boy.
This email, I'm going to end it here, says, basically, I'm accountable to Almighty God because I'm standing up for equality.
Is he going to cry, or is that what's happening here? Mm-hmm.
That my decisions one day,
he's going to cry.
I will stand before him and be accountable.
Yeah, we all will.
This is what I believe. You ever seen that movie, Talladega Nights?
What?
What?
Okay, you see that section where they're talking around the dinner table and they're talking about what their favorite version of Jesus is.
Uh-huh.
All right, baby Jesus. I love baby Jesus. And the guy goes, well, I love Leonard Skinner Jesus when angels are behind him and the choir is singing and he's playing Freebird.
What? Where is this
Well,
going?
my day of judgment, I might be standing in front of trans Jesus. I don't know.
I do.
Wait, what?
You won't be. No, you won't be.
You don't know, though. He doesn't know.
Can we stop with the blasphemy, please?
He doesn't know, though, Pat.
He doesn't know. But I do. I can help him with that. No, you won't be. No, that's not going to happen.
He uses Talladega Nights.
That's
funny. Dude.
Wow. Talk
Long
about
way to the well.
That sure
long way to the well. Yeah, way too far to the well, frankly.
Not much water left.
And then there's Elon Musk.
Yes,
And
we
Jesus
talked about,
thing?
is Elon Musk a Christian? Did he accept Jesus?
Oh, yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
audience was like, no, he didn't. And I was like,
He didn't or he did?
I think he did.
I thought he did, right?
After watching this clip 15, I say he did.
Let's see.
Okay, so to make this church,
Babylon
we have to make sure. We're wondering if you could do us a quick solid and accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior.
On the show.
Personal Lord and Savior. It's a quick prayer.
I mean, let's just say, like, I agree with the principles that Jesus advocated, and there's great wisdom in the teachings of Jesus, and I agree with those teachings. And things like turn the other cheek are very important, because as opposed to an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind. So forgiveness, is important, and treating people as you would wish to be treated.
Certainly not adultery.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. Very important.
So it's like a 60-70%. Yes.
As Einstein would say, I believe in the God of Spinoza.
What?
God of Spinoza.
What is the God of Spinoza?
Hey,
I don't know what that is.
If Jesus is saving people, I mean, I wouldn't stand in his way. I'll be sure. I'll be saved. Why not?
Sweet, we did it.
Yeah.
I think he just said yes.
We got him. All right, we got him.
We got him. We want to be saved. Sounds good.
You want to get baptized or anything real quick?
No, he didn't say yes. No, you can't.
They dunked me in the water when I was.
Yeah, so he said he was baptized when he was a baby, right?
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's a difference between what he said and do you accept Jesus as your Savior. It's a little different. He said he accepts the teachings of Jesus. That's what he said. So,
but I don't like putting people on the spot like that, man.
I don't either. But
your camera's rolling.
Yeah.
You're like, look, we're not going to wrap up this interview until
us
you
a
tell
solid.
us that.
No,
that is not
that's not cool.
the way to evangelize.
No.
So,
in Spinoza's philosophy, God is not a personal being, but rather the infinite, necessary, and self-caused substance that constitutes the entire universe.
Okay.
All right. Spinoza identifies God with nature, meaning that the universe is God's manifestation and nothing exists outside of God. This concept is known as pantheism, as it sees God as immanent in and not distinct from the natural world.
Okay.
A little different than Christianity.
A tad.
Yeah. So, but whatever. I mean, he can believe whatever he wants, right? It's America. It's America.
It is, and as I said,
and again, they put him on the spot.
That whole thing,
that's not cool.
like they're having a big.
That in the Catholic
Yay!
Church, so.
Clap! We got him. We got him done. All right.
No, you really didn't.
That's not.
No. Yeah, that wasn't. That was suboptimal.
It felt more about them. So that they could say, we got the richest man in the world to accept Jesus, then, we actually got someone to say that was just for clicks, man. I don't like it.
No, yeah.
Does the Pope in waiting have a thought?
I already said.
Yeah, it's not Catholicism. That's what you said, I
Thank
believe.
you.
Yeah.
Wow.
None of it.
I always thought the
And
Pope
he did-
would be a little
eye
more
for an eye,
gentle
you
with
know,
his
forgot
theology
murder,
talk.
Forgot murder, forgot adultery. Never mind
That's right.
that.
Yeah.
Some of those things we just gloss over.
What does he have?
In your
43 kids?
Wait, what?
44 kids now? Yeah.
Well, 43 that he acknowledges.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, let me tell you about Kexi cookies. I mean, these are phenomenal cookies. They really, really, you're going to love these. Our Mother's Day box did, in fact, sell out.
What?
Our shipping cutoff has passed. But if you place your order via Next Day Air, you can still get it in time for Mother's Day. Next Day Air orders must be placed no later than today in order to give us time to get it out on Thursday. Okay? And then, I don't know, there's problematic stuff with Friday delivery. So it's got to be done by today. But here's a recent review from Brianne, who says, I purchased the box of 6 and got the Texas chocolate chip, the Texas sheet cake, peanut butter, blueberry lemon, M&M, and white chocolate strawberry. Really good choices all. So great.
Blueberry lemon. Delicious.
She says, each one was soft, huge, and flavorful. I'm looking forward to placing my next order in the future to try different ones. They're all delicious. You're going to love these. And they are gourmet cookies. These are made with the best ingredients. You're going to love these. I don't know anybody who's... there probably is somebody somewhere in the world who's been disappointed with them because you can't please all the people all the time. But I've never met that person. So go to Kexi.com. Kexi. Kexi.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
And welcome to it. There's another big investment, apparently. This one coming from Gulf states this time. President Trump teased a major announcement he plans to make before he leaves on his Middle East tour. He described it as very, very big and one of the most important announcements that have been made in many years about a certain subject. Speaking to reporters, he said the timing of the reveal is still being finalized. It'll either be Thursday, Friday, or on Monday. Without providing details, he underscored the gravity of the upcoming disclosure. It's as big as it gets. I won't tell you what, but it's very positive.
Awesome. Yeah, he teased building the big ballroom, too. I saw where he teased the big ballroom, which I told you about on this show last week, that was going to be where the garden is.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he didn't say that. He didn't say that's where it's going to be, but I'm telling you.
Okay.
That's where it's going to be.
And we can take that to the bank.
You're darn right.
Because Pope Fatimus Maximus said it. So, it's true. According to Bloomberg, which cited people familiar with this situation, some of the players in the Gulf region, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, are about to announce deals worth about $3 trillion, far surpassing the $400 billion pledged during Trump's 2017 trip. So $3 trillion in investment in the United States.
Wow.
That's significant.
It is.
That seems pretty good.
It does. It does seem pretty good.
Trust the process.
Yeah.
If we can just be patient. Again, that's not one of our strong points. But if we could just be patient for a while and get through this kind of chaotic time period, I think it is going to be great.
It certainly feels like it.
It does.
It does feel like the groundswell is starting to happen.
It really does.
Yeah, that's what he said.
The market is stabilizing. China is seemingly coming to the table. They're having some issues. More issues than we're having. I'll tell you that. And that's what we were told in the beginning by him.
We're trying to wrap up this Ukraine-Russia thing. I know that India and Pakistan over there in sweater country are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a localized kind of fighting right now. So
is it sweater country or is it Led Zeppelin country?
No, it's sweater country.
This would be a great place to play it, but of course
we can't.
It's not 1996 anymore. So apparently, Michelle, Big Mike, has admitted that she's transitioning.
This is wild news. No one saw this coming, or did we?
We got that. Or did we?
Because, I don't know if she's doing this on purpose or what. But remember last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, we had the clip where she goes, "As a black man."
Yes.
Right.
Remember that?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know if she's funning with us.
Okay.
But here we go.
And at this phase of my life, I'm in therapy right now because I'm transitioning. You know, I'm 60 years old. I've finished a really hard thing in my life with my family and stuff. I'm an empty nester. My girls are in. You know, they've been launched. And now for the first time, as I've said before, every choice that I'm making is completely mine.
Yep.
I now don't have the excuse of, well, my kids need this or my husband needs that or the country needs that.
Oh, why is that?
So how do I think about this next phase? And let me get some help. Let me unwind some old habits. Let me sort through some old guilt that I've been carrying around. Let me talk about how my relationship with my mother has affected how I think about things. So I'm getting that tune-up for this next phase because I believe this is a whole nother phase in life for me.
We can't wait for
and
it.
I now have the wisdom to know, let me go get some coaching while I'm doing it so that I've got other voices other than the people who know me best. I've got a new person that's getting to know me and seeing me completely new and hearing all these emotions. I am an advocate of it. Everybody needs to find their form of it the best way they can.
Who's the guy?
Jay
Who's the
Shetty.
guy?
Jay
Okay,
Shetty.
that's right. That's right. You like his podcast.
I do. Jay's a good guy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm going to trust you on that because I don't know him at all. But you know, I'm getting a little tired of hearing about her transition.
Oh, me
stuff,
too.
Whatever
and
it
I'm
is.
tired of hearing about this. Then she said, and I think it was still on Jay's show. I'm not sure, but I saw where it was reported that she talked about what a struggle it was for her at the White House, and how people don't realize that they had to pay for the food that they ate when Barack wasn't there.
Yeah, and not only that, but when she was traveling, if she was traveling without the president, she had to pay her own way, apparently.
Yeah.
We didn't pay for that.
Yeah, we didn't pay for that. It was really a struggle for her. Shut up.
Oh, man. I know. She's so hideous.
Enough already. Maybe that's maybe why Barack's just like, yeah, go. Just leave me alone. Get out of here.
It does sound like that's done.
It sure does.
The way she talks about it.
I don't have to worry about anything about the kids or my husband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's not a consideration anymore?
Zero.
Wonder why. Interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. And she's transitioning. We should have just ended it right there.
Yeah.
We didn't need the rest of it.
No, we didn't need any of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to deal with her transitioning. That's got to take a toll on Barack.
Well, he's living on the other
right
side of the
now
country.
because I'm transitioning.
There you go. Done. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
That's all you need.
I think now's a good time for me to do some traveling.
Yeah, no doubt. She's staying in Hawaii. I'm in D.C.
Yeah.
Wow. Whew. Oh, she's the worst, though.
And they don't visit Martha's Vineyard anymore, since they knocked off the chef. Nobody likes to go there anymore. It brings up bad memories.
Still a crime scene. Still a crime scene.
Yeah.
Hasn't been released yet.
Yeah. All right. So WNBA player Paige Buchers.
Oh, she's the Dallas, whatever our nickname is here.
Oh, yeah. What is the Dallas team called?
Holy crap.
No one knows that.
Wings. Joe coming in with wings.
I should know that.
The Dallas Wings?
Yeah, the Wings.
How does Joe know that? Oh, my gosh.
Wings, yeah.
Shame on you,
I
Joe.
should know that.
Next time, Joe, when you know
Shame
something
on us
about the
for knowing
WNBA,
for not knowing
you
that.
need to
Shame.
hold off for about 5 seconds, then get in my ear so it doesn't look like you just knew this off the top of your head. Anyway, so Dallas Wings, #1 overall pick. And what is this clip, Chris? She's up there praising, what is it?
She wants to use her white woman spotlight to shine on the black woman.
Yeah, I mean, they all say this.
All right.
Oh, man.
Can't wait for this.
The light that I have now, as a white woman who leads a black-led sport and celebrated here, I want to show a light on black women. They don't get the media coverage that they deserve.
Wait, are we not covering black
They've given
female
so much
athletes?
I mean, they all say this. They all kowtow to this, to
That's
the
so
WNBA.
pathetic.
It's just agonizing.
And she's so nervous.
Ridiculous.
It's really ridiculous.
What
yeah.
are you talking about? Ugh. It's because of what's-her-face.
Yeah.
It's because of Caitlyn, what's-her-face.
And she is, first of all...
How dare anybody pay any attention to her?
First of all, go easy on Caitlyn, what's-her-face. That's Caitlyn Clark.
Caitlyn Clark.
She's definitely the face of the league. And they've done all they could last year to make that not so. And it didn't work.
Yeah.
So now, now they have to bow into it because... crowds are still coming because of her.
Yeah.
I mean, they played to a sold-out crowd to a preseason game the other night in Iowa.
In Iowa, yeah, that was
it was just incredible. And she, there was a picture, somebody sent me a picture, it might have been on one of the social media clips, of the 3 Indiana players who were white sitting on the bench. And the caption is, something tells me the WNBA isn't going to like this.
Funny. All right. Speaking of sports, Tom Brady has some advice for Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, he does.
All right.
One question before I go, Tom. Do you think a college kid needs a Phantom, like a Rolls Royce?
Nah. Hey, no, it's not a Phantom. It's a Rolls Royce Cullinan.
I think he needs to get his ass in the film room and spend as much time in there as possible.
Thank you,
less
Tom.
time in the car and more time in the film room.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate
And I
that.
seen you have one too, Tom. Don't think I seen.
I was just a rental. Hey, I had a few bucks in my pocket at that point. I'll tell you some car stories when we're together next time.
Okay. So the greatest quarterback of all time gives you an advice, and you talk back. I saw you have one of those too, Tom. Yeah, win 7 Super Bowls, Shedeur.
So is that maybe that is a little insight into why he fell out of the first round down to the 5th.
Yeah, I believe it was the Giants that gave him the playbook and tested him on it later, and he failed miserably. And so they were like, "Yeah, we're not going to be taking you at 3rd overall."
Wow.
Yeah. So
they were planning to.
It sounds like it.
I mean, there was some
That
discussion
really
about it.
Upset the Giants, and they traded back and got Jackson Dart.
Yeah, because he treated it. He didn't come prepared at all. Was the reports?
Correct.
Wow. All right.
4th rounder, Shedeur Sanders, trying to tell a future Hall of Famer, 7-time Super Bowl
5th rounder, I think, right?
5th round. Sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
5th round.
Yeah.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Yeah, I did. Didn't I? Didn't I just fall out of a coconut tree? All right. We will see you again tomorrow. Right back here.
Busy blessing people.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.